Welcome to This Is My Circus, the podcast where we embrace the chaos and keep it real about parenting, pop culture, true crime, and the books we can't put down.
Because let's be honest, life is one big circus, and we're just trying to survive with caffeine, sarcasm, and a little true crime obsession.
So if you love unfiltered conversation, questionable parenting hacks, and deep dives into the things that keep us up at night, you're in the right place.
Buckle up, grab your popcorn, and let's get into the chaos.
I'm Stefanie.
I'm Meredith.
And welcome to This Is My Circus.
It's really a circus today.
Lord have mercy. It's been a circus all week.
It has been a circus. Thank you for working with me with the whole, hey, I can come early. Does that work? And you're like, yeah, come on whenever. And then I'm like, never mind, because life. And you're like, okay, no worries. And then message you back, okay, I'm coming now before there's an explosion.
All good.
You know how kids, like, they hit like this level of what, and like they're just ready for the next thing. Like I remember the beginning of 5th grade being like, there's no way my baby can do middle school next year. And then by the time 5th grade was over, I was like, he needs away from these little kids. So I'm there with driving right now. Like I need Jackson to drive. I mean, he has his permit and stuff, but he's got so much going on and so many practices and friends and things that I signed him up for driver's ed. So that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But
Is it through school or through?
No, we did a private thing.
Yeah, that's what we did too.
I didn't even try through school because I heard the wait list was really long and I just wasn't even going to deal with that. So he's got that coming up in May was their first availability. So only a month.
Yeah.
And then he'll be ready because that was part of my hiccup today was, do you have track practice? Do you not? And then all those pieces that go with that. So yeah, it's just, but it's funny how like all of a sudden they're just like ready for that next thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at least you're in the same town for school.
Yeah.
Whatever. When Dylan started driving was the first week of school going to the new school.
Oh my gosh.
And that's a 40-minute drive.
Yeah.
Every day back and forth.
That's
And so he got his license, I think like a day or two before school started.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So that totally freaked me out. So I totally know what you're saying.
Oh my gosh, I didn't. And you know, it's when somebody else is going through it and you haven't experienced it yet, you're like, oh man, that's tough.
Yeah.
But now, knowing what I know now and retrospectively thinking about what you were going through, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. And I'm just, he makes like 2 turns and then he's at the school. Like it's not even, it's pretty much a straight stretch. Don't worry about him getting lost going there or, you know, those kind of things. But yeah, retrospectively, you went through it for real.
He's an awesome driver, but it was just like, that's a long drive every day. And a lot of those roads are very congested and like going into Rock Hill. So, but you know, he did fine. He's good.
Well, it's the early morning too. And you know, that's rough for all of us. to make that happen.
Well, and he was also driving a friend who was always late.
Yeah.
I'm like, do not speed.
Right.
I'd rather you get like a late whatever.
Absolutely. Tardy thing. Well,
good.
Does he carpool with anybody now?
I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Hey, no, he only goes 2 days a week.
That's right.
Yeah.
His schedule, he does all the online virtual stuff for his college things. Yeah, but that's the other part. I'm like, okay, I have 1 more month basically to hold him hostage in the car, like to take him to school and to pick him up. And oh, my heart is breaking, Steph.
I know.
I read something the other day and it was like you spend 75% of the time you'll have with your child by the time they're 12. 12.
That makes me so sad.
So sad.
Oh, that's awful.
So I'm in my feelings a little bit. And for good ways.
Live in my feelings.
Yeah.
I'm such a crier.
It's just like things hit you, you know, all at once. It's like they hit different milestones or different things. And it's just like all of a sudden just.
Yeah. Well, Dylan and I were talking and I said, I have several friends that had offered whenever Dylan's ready to take on like a construction job because that's what he wants to get into, let them know and you know, they would make that happen. And I had asked him about it for this summer. I said, this is really your last summer to really just goof off and do what you want to do because he goes in his senior year next year. And so I said, it's totally up to you. Like where you're working now, they are super flexible. You can kind of do what you want to do. Right. That's not going to be how it is at these kind of jobs. It's going to be like a grown-up job. So it's totally up to you how you want to handle that.
Yeah.
I understand it's your last summer too.
Yeah, heck yeah. I want one last summer.
Me too. I had so much fun in high school.
I know. Well, and just to have it be your last summer, knowing it's your last summer, you know what I mean? It's just like that last time you go and eat lunch with them at school, you don't realize it's the last time you're going to eat lunch with them at school, kind of thing.
I know.
So has he decided what he's going to do this summer, or is he still thinking about it?
I think he's just gonna
Stay where he is.
He's like, well, what would you do? I said, well, I mean, I wasn't very like goal
I
oriented.
don't make good decisions. I'm just kidding.
I did not at that age. I really, he makes way better decisions than I do.
He's such a good kid.
But I said, you know, at that age, I would enjoy my life. I said,
Yeah.
knowing what I know as a
Yes, I took my job way too serious as a teenager.
Yeah.
I did not need to be like, I can't call in, I can't do this. Teenagers, if you're listening, have fun.
Yeah.
While you can.
Yeah. And that's what I told him. I said, knowing what I know now, and after you graduate and you get a real job, and
once that starts, you can't really step away from it.
Yeah. So I believe he's leaning towards just chilling this summer, which
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
No, same, 100%.
So I told him, I said, I'll support whichever way you decide to go.
Yeah.
Totally up to you.
Yeah. Jackson started a little business. So last year he had cut a few lawns. I'm Southern, we say. He cut the grass and did the weed eating and the edging and all that kind of stuff. So he's got a couple of more yards this year.
Yeah.
He's trying to get a couple more too. So all of you out there,
Local people.
if you have teenage daughters, he'll give you a discount.
if they're sunbathing.
Yeah. Yeah. So that has been, it's good for him, and I'm proud of him for putting that in. But again, he can't drive. So we were trying to coordinate everything from last Saturday. He had a track meet. He wanted to hang out with a friend, and then he had a yard to cut. And Brian was like, are we just going to sit there while he does it? Or, just all the pieces. So
yeah,
these kids.
It's all good.
It is.
It's so much worse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hi, it's me. Yeah, but so in my feelings about that, school year's wrapping up. We're in the last quarter of this.
Oh God.
I know. So I think we're both going to be some basket cases for different reasons coming up with just different milestones and things. You guys are going to have to give us a lot of grace. So have you been into anything fun?
Not necessarily fun. Did you watch Seventh Heaven?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so I love that show.
Yeah, I like that too.
Early, late 90s?
Yeah.
Early
Who did I think was so hot? Was there a guy named Jeremy on there?
Yes.
Was he hot?
Yes.
Okay.
There was a lot of hot guys on there.
Yeah, I feel like they were hot. And Nick
Jessica
Campbell.
Biel was on there.
Jessica Biel.
No, that was Party of Five, Nev Campbell.
Yes, Jessica Biel's on there. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Okay, so there is on HBO Max, or well, I guess it's just Max now, a documentary that just got released Monday, and it's called Hollywood Demons, and it's like the downfall of some of like the big Hollywood people, and the dad on Seventh Heaven.
Was he
Stephen Collins?
child?
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything.
Yes.
Allegedly. Okay.
Yeah. So I watched that last night.
Okay.
If you are into Seventh Heaven, or if you like that was your jam back then, it was shocking.
So was it just on Seventh Heaven?
No.
It was a lot of...
Actually, so they had interviewed a lot of the some of the cast, and nobody knew. Like, it wasn't like he was on set doing that stuff. And on set, he was actually like put on like even more of the protective persona. You know what I mean? So nobody could believe it when it came out.
Wow. I like hearing the behind the scenes stuff though, even when it's dark and twisted.
Yeah. So definitely it'll be a 6-part series. That was just the first episode that dropped. So I guess every Monday they're going to put one out. I don't really know.
Did you watch, there was a documentary about the Woodstock, not the original Woodstock, but the one that was in the 90s, I think. That was crazy too, because they were like, the planning was really poor with it. There was no water, like different things like that. That was like, oh my God.
Didn't like several people die?
Yeah. And sick and injured and all the things. So yeah, that was fascinating to watch with just like oh my gosh.
Yeah.
People are terrible.
Yeah. Well, if you're into weird
hmm
documentaries, that was one.
So I'm watching something now that's dark, because that seems to be what I gravitate towards. And trigger warning for self-harm. Did you watch 13 Reasons Why?
Yes.
I'm on like episode 7 or something of that.
So before it became a show, I read the book.
Okay.
The book was awesome.
Okay.
It very follows along
Okay.
with the show, but they made the show into however many seasons.
Yeah.
When Dylan, probably ninth grade or whatever, he's like, "Oh, Mom, I just started watching the show," and I'm like, "No."
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, actually, it gave a lot of good
Yeah.
opportunities to talk on different things, and so yeah, the second season. What's the? Are you?
I'm on 1.
Okay, yeah, because it gets not great. Other things happening.
Okay. Well, I'm still in the what in the world? Why did she do this kind of phase? I'm still meeting all the characters, obviously. So it's been fascinating, though.
Yeah.
So that's been my little.
It's intense.
Yeah.
Especially if a teenager is watching it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because there's a lot of different, like I said, talking points or things that they could possibly run into. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just watched the episode last night where she was stood up for Valentine's Day. And I'm just like, dang it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'd be a great point. But that balances out my Gossip Girl. Really good.
Are you still watching?
Yeah. Every once in a while. I need something light like that, but then I need something that's
heavier.
Yeah. I'm weird.
Yeah. Well, while we're talking about TV, did you watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Yes, and Angel.
They're going to do a reboot of Buffy. And they're taping this summer, they're taping, like, for
right.
Yeah.
They're rolling the film.
They're doing the production of the pilot this summer.
It's the same characters, or
it's like a new version.
Oh, okay.
But they are trying, I believe that they have approached some of the older characters.
I hope they do.
So Sarah Michelle Gellar had said that they did approach her a while ago about the idea of a reboot. And so she shut it down. She said that she was keeping the conversation open about it.
Yeah.
And then Cordelia, I forgot whatever her name is. But she's also they've also approached her about coming back.
Did you watch Angel also?
I watched a little bit of it. I wasn't as invested.
So when Jackson was born and I nursed him for several months, and it was like 4 a.m. was the time that he would have to get up and eat. And from like 4 to 6, I would watch like a Buffy and an Angel on like TBS or some, it was reruns, obviously.
Yeah.
But,
at night.
Maybe, but that's like the only thing that was on kind of at that weird time. And yeah, I can remember watching that.
Do you know what hurts my soul?
What?
Friends is on Nick at Night.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Nick at Night used to be like Mr. Ed.
I know.
I love Lucy.
I saw something yesterday. Do you remember Add a Baby, It's a Boy? That baby is 24 years old now, right? Because that was so old. It is so crazy to me.
Yeah.
It is so crazy to me.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing when they say you're closer to 1950 than to 20, whatever. I know. I just want to kill all those people.
Zip it.
Take that out.
Zip it.
I don't want to get in trouble for murder. Murder?
Did you hear about the Megladon goldfish problem?
No. No. It's a giant goldfish?
Yeah.
Like how giant?
Like the size of a chihuahua. Like the little tiny goldfish.
Yeah.
At the fair.
So tell me about it.
Well, people are throwing their goldfish into the Great Lakes. Like Erie and wherever. And so the largest one that they have found so far was the size of like a chihuahua.
Oh my gosh.
It was like 6 or 7 pounds or something like that. And so they're getting so big and they're eating all of the food and stuff in the water. And
I'm surprised they don't freeze. It gets cold.
I don't know.
It gets cold.
Are they a tropical fish? Like, where did the goldfish come from?
I feel like all fish are tropical fish.
Well, they've got to be fish, like, because there's ice fishing.
Yeah, those are fish that are in menopause. They're hot. I don't know. I think of fish. I don't really think of cold fish. I don't know. Fish are warm. Yeah. Fish are warm and sunny. Yeah, I'm not sure if their habitat.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. So the wildlife and game people are concerned because it's disrupting, obviously, the natural
ecosystem.
Fish,
yeah.
And clogging up, like, the waterways and stuff.
And then they're going to have baby giant goldfish.
And they breed 3 times a year, or 2 or 3 times a year.
That
So
is insane.
there's going to be like a takeover of Megalodon goldfish. That's what they're calling a Megalodon goldfish.
I love the name. I was picturing a goldfish like as big as a bus though, so.
No, this is like a show
But
off.
still, yeah, that's huge. Yeah, when things like that happen with animals, it messes up like, you wouldn't even think. But I watched this video one time. I'm such a nerd. And it was about the wolves in somewhere out west, and the wolves were getting extinct. And so it was like just a trickle effect on whatever. So they introduced wolves back into the ecosystem of whatever place this was. What's the place that starts with an N?
Nebraska?
Or North Dakota,
Oh,
maybe. Starts with the north, somewhere out there. I don't know, but yeah, they introduced them back in, like the rivers and the grass was better again, just because of all the other animals. It's crazy. It's crazy how the world works.
yeah. But like, can we get rid of some of these creepy crawlies? I
Yeah,
mean, the world can do without like some.
I saw. Did I send you the video of the alligator and the crocodile? Oh my gosh, I've been getting all kinds of alligator stuff on my feed. I wonder why.
Did you see the video that I sent you of the job to weigh penguins?
Yes,
He just,
I could do that. It's like the scale's like just like the little mouse pad.
I love it
I
so
know.
much.
They waddle up there. Do penguins have knees?
Oh, no,
Like, what do their legs look like?
I thought it was just feet.
I know. I need to see a penguin skeleton.
Oh, I don't want to see that.
No, but I feel like, or X-ray,
Okay,
penguin X-ray.
better. I don't want to see a skeleton.
Sometimes things that just come out of my mouth are,
Do you remember when COVID hit and all of the zoos were doing
virtual.
yeah, but they would let the animals at the aquarium just go
Wander
on
around.
tours?
Yes, I remember seeing penguins one night just wandering around my gosh, that was so great.
I was like, this is the best thing ever.
So you do know that this COVID hit like this time 5 years ago, sorry, not last year.
Yeah, because I got my
Reminders.
I was like, I should buy my son's new teacher a present. Amazon. Do.
Yeah. It is crazy that it's been 5 years. This is just a time one. We're just talking about
Oh,
how fast time goes, not how old we are, because we are not. 5 years ago.
we were talking.
Wormhole.
Dylan and I were looking at his schoolwork last night, and when COVID hit, him and Jonas got caught cheating on their virtual class
How?
because Jonas didn't even like. I guess he just submitted Dylan's paper. Like Dylan had emailed him or whatever, sent him the document for him just to copy the answers, but he just submitted it with Dylan's name.
Oh my gosh.
He just submitted the whole paper.
I mean, we've all been there.
So the teacher sends out an email and doesn't say anybody's names, but I asked Dylan and he's like, yeah, that was me and Jonas. And I was like, oh my God, Dylan, how? And he's like, he left my name on the paper. And I was like, oh my God.
Right. Rookie
Seriously. So
Rookie mistake.
yeah. But that was our like laugh for the COVID times.
It was so crazy though. I remember Jackson had a virtual soccer practice. I was like, you don't have to go, buddy. It was so crazy.
No. I did enjoy like the freedom to go hiking and stuff for PE.
Yeah. Yeah. Like well, you still do that anyway. Two a day dog walks.
Yeah. I definitely still do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I love a petty story.
Bring it on.
So a lady on TikTok, her name is Tasha Nicole.
Okay.
Her husband had called her and asked her if she wanted to go to a Pacers game. And she was like, yeah, sure. And he goes, oh, I thought you were going to say no. I already asked his best friend if he wanted to go. And she was like, well, that's a jerk move. Why ask me? And so she went to TikTok, had him block, and was like, yo, I need help. I need front row tickets to the Pacers game for this date because my husband did this to me and I want to have better seats than him.
Oh my gosh.
And so
please tell me that
it blew up.
Social media came through.
It blew up.
Okay.
And the Pacers actually messaged us. They hooked her up with the front row tickets and a suite, like a hotel suite.
Oh my gosh.
Freaking awesome, right? So she is going to take her husband's best friend's wife. So they're going to be in the front row and the dudes will be in like the nosebleeds.
Right. That is amazing.
Section, right? In comes Flava Flav. He enters the chat and he's like, yo, can I sit next to you?
Yes, you can.
Like, how
That's
flippin'
amazing.
cool would it be?
That is
And then they be on
amazing.
Jumbotron, like,
Oh yeah.
waving
Oh my gosh,
at
that
her
is
husband.
so cool.
Kiss.
Right. Or flip him off.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming you have to keep it.
Yeah, they probably won't put it on there if you don't. That is amazing.
Right?
I love that story.
I do too. And so he was blocked from everything. The best friend was blocked from everything.
Yeah,
And hopefully they don't see it. But that,
that is great.
yeah,
That is really, really
I
great.
loved it. I loved that story.
I have a story you're probably gonna love too.
Okay.
So, we interviewed Posey, my sister.
Hmm.
She had her ceremony last night to get her new award.
Oh, good.
So it's a blue stone. We were talking to her about what color the stone was going to be, so it's blue. And she sent me pictures, and that's not, oh yeah, there. So she's got those two on there now. Yep. We'll have to put it on I asked her if we could share it on our Facebook. She said, yeah, or our socials. But she sent me this picture of her name tag, and it says "Get in, loser." I thought that was hilarious.
Congratulations, Posey.
Proud of her.
Yes.
Very proud of her.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, we have our last two updates from our,
Am I the a-hole?
yes. So would you like to get into that?
Absolutely.
Because I've been dying to know. I have
Yeah.
not.
You haven't cheated?
Mm-mm.
Good.
I'm just as surprised as you are.
Thank you for putting the font on 72.
You're welcome.
Okay, so this is update 6. This is from January 23rd. And just the quick recap is that the man and his Asian partner were not going to get any inheritance because the sisters were saying they deserved it because they were
Just the one sister.
just the one. The other one changed her mind. She flipped. But anyway, just to jog everybody's memory on what we're
Yes.
talking about. Okay. All right, so here we go. Rachel took my bill for $26,000 straight to her kids and said, "See, he was just using you for your money." No. To use someone for your money, you actually have to be getting money. She talks to her children like they're still children, though. They're in their late 40s now, so clearly see my demand for what it was. Accusing their mother,
Mutter.
accusing their mother.
Hello, mother.
Yeah.
Hello, father.
Accusing their mother of literally doing the exact same thing. It did make Teen feel bad though, and he rang me up and said, "I'm so sorry. I was having such a great time with my uncles. I never stopped and thought of the hardship you were suffering."
You were 16, kid.
Right. Give me your bank account details and I'll pay you and Harry the money my B mother should have 30 years ago.
No.
No, absolutely not. That money was child support for you. With it, we could have given you a better life, a nicer house with a bigger bedroom, bought you a better computer, better school equipment, better shoes, bigger allowance. If anything, she should be paying you back for what she deprived you of as a child. The fact that you consider me an uncle and had a great time is all I ever needed. Well, this gives me hope that well, he's an adult now, but quote, teen is decent.
Oh, yeah. But like,
I know.
so wait, so mom didn't even supply like clothing?
Apparently nothing.
She
She just literally dropped them off.
oh my
Maybe
God.
with like a book bag with something in it. I don't, maybe like a stick with the red bandana tied on the end. They were whistling, walking down the road. Rachel sent Harry a copy of the bill too, before I could give him a copy to send her first. Harry then felt guilty for it and apologized profusely for imposing his family on me. Harry goes out of his way to find things to feel guilty about. 2 years ago, my PC died at a brunch. 2 days later, he turned up with his spare laptop saying his work PC was all he needed at home. 6 months later, he said he desperately needed it back because his PC had died. No problem, it was his and he just lent it to me. He went home so riddled with guilt that 3 days later he turned up with a new PC as a present. After he left, I looked up how much it was worth, twice as much as the laptop I just returned to him. Oh, Harry. You don't have to buy people, buddy. So I had to assure him that his family has never been a problem. His parents were lovely. Mary is lovely. The nieces and nephews are great. And for 40 years, I thought Rachel was a great person too. You can read what I said about her in my first post. It was only now that she's demanding his money that I'm seeing the truth. She's been a lifelong manipulator and freeloader. He couldn't see it though, and it became obvious after a couple of sentences that he was going to defend her against everything I was going to accuse her of. Yeah, but. After that, I fairly quickly dropped it because I didn't want to stress him out. How do I approach the subject again, though? that his best friend for the first 25 years of his life is toxic and still manipulating his family for money, that her turning up demanding his money shouldn't have been a surprise, a once off D move that she automatically expected him to hand it over because that's how she's lived her whole life.
She's
Wow.
awful.
It's like she's just making all kinds of issues. Like she's dredging up so much from the past because of the way she is. It's just, oh,
Mm. Well, she's just trying to, now it's like a character
yeah,
assassination against
yeah.
him.
Okay, so this was the next day he
Mhm.
wrote this. Okay, last update. I had brunch with Harry, telling him in advance we really need to talk about your sister. While still furious at her for demanding his inheritance, he just hasn't been able to come to terms with the fact she's a toxic human being who should be written off forever. I decided to approach it from a let's compare angle. My sister is a monster. Probably one of the reasons Rachel has triggered me so badly. The difference is that mine is very open and aggressive with her intent to destroy her own life and drag everyone else down with her. So, you hate my sister, right? Your sister is an absolute beep, beep, beep. Right here is a list of everything you hate about my sister, everything she's done to me, my mother, and her daughter. And I handed him a long dot point list of all the things my sister has done, and alongside each act, which of them constituted criminal behavior. At the end, I put consequences of her actions and listed the number of times she's been to court, the fine she's paid, and the amount of time she spent in detention, with my mother and I caring for her daughter. By the end of the list, he was bright red and raging just with being reminded of it all. Then I said, and here's a 2-page list of everything that your sister has done to you and your family. It started with her at age 17 stealing her mother's car, getting drunk, sideswiping a parts car before passing out behind the wheel and driving into a ditch. Then waking up and running away to hide out at a friend's house while she was pregnant. Oh, no bueno. When the police found the car the next morning, they discovered drugs in the glove compartment. You told me this is a story about funny things Rachel got up to when she was young, but this isn't funny. Your parents must have gone through hell because of this, getting her into hospital, getting a lawyer, trying to keep her out of jail, paying the fines, paying for the damage. Not funny. Then below that list was a very extensive, I paid a lot of time with points under child neglect, listing all the abandonment, abuse by neglect, social security fraud, theft of money from the fathers, exploitation of the guardians. I listed the time when she decided it would be great for the kids to spend a year in an alternative lifestyle commune, living in a shack way up in the mountains with no electricity or running water. Again, what was she spending all the money on? Alongside each, I listed the crimes she could have been charged with for every action. The final heading was consequences of her actions nil. Because you, your family, and all her friends enabled her, manipulated, she manipulated a mother. She manipulated you into writing it off to her just being a bit kooky. You were all compliant, consistently compensating for her, cleaning up the damage she left in her wake. And in terms of her criminal actions, to an extent, you could even be considered co-conspirators. So reading the list, whose sister is worse, mine or yours, he was pale and utterly speechless. And now Mary has just handed over her inheritance with this unbelievable audacity. She showed up at your door twice now trying to bully you out of yours. I finished with I think the reason you finally and furiously flipped on Rachel is not because of the inheritance. It's because deep down you've been absolutely raging about having to put it up with this shit for the past 50 years. When he finally got his voice back, he started again with, I'm so sorry I inflicted her on you. No, not at all. She's just an absolute genius at manipulation. And for the past 40 years, I completely bought into it too. Let's burn her world to the ground together. Are you in? I asked. Yeah, he is.
She's,
I feel so bad for them.
I do too. You can see having somebody in your family like that would cause Harry's reaction
Oh,
of
yeah.
always feeling guilty of
Yeah.
always, because that's been his life. He's
Yeah.
been
Manipulated.
manipulated.
And he's compensating for not only trying to compensate for what she's done, but she's always manipulated him into thinking he's always wrong and always, you owe me this. And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Harry, Harry, Harry. I can't believe that's the last update, though.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably in jail for doing something to Rachel.
I just figured they're probably like, it's like legal now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, you're not the a-hole.
Okay.
I love your pettiness.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
Same.
Keep it going.
What a freaking ride that was.
All right, so if you are not a bookie, you are free to leave. We will not be having an episode next week. And then the following week after that, we were told of a local person
Mm-hmm.
by one of our listeners that went missing quite some time ago. It was like early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to look into that, do kind of like a deep dive on that instead of doing our book review.
I'm excited to look into this. I'm very anxious to find it.
Yeah. So it's not next week because we won't have an episode next week, but the following week.
Yep.
So looking forward to that.
Yep.
If you are not going to listen to our book review, or if you have not read the book and you don't want any spoilers, now is
Dismissed.
your time to leave. We love you.
Goodbye.
All right, so we read this week Just Another Missing Person by Gillian McAllister.
Mm-hmm.
And the blurb of the blurb. When 22-year-old Olivia vanishes after entering a dead-end alley, Detective Julia is assigned to the case, expecting the usual emotional toll and long hours. But the investigation takes a chilling turn when Julia realizes a suspect holds a devastating secret tied to her own past, one that threatens her family's safety if uncovered. This gripping thriller explores the blurry lines between right and wrong, forcing Julia to choose between justice and protecting everything she loves. This book was hard for me to get through.
Very hard for me to get through. And once I would get to the next section, I would almost forget what was in this section before. I didn't feel like this flowed very well at all.
No. And we had like 3 different points of views.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was a hard book for me to
And
get
we
through.
like Gillian McAllister.
Mhm.
Like, we enjoy what we've read of her, but this one just felt really scattered all over the place. Not a lot of cohesiveness.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'm glad it was. I didn't want to tell you because I feel like every book lately I've been like, I can't do it. I can't. And we've talked about
Yeah, and that's what I said too. I'm just like having a hard time getting through books lately.
Yeah.
But this one, it was rough
Yeah.
until like the last third of the book.
Right.
In the last third of the book, it had me.
Right. Right. It took that long though and maybe it was just so much backstory, but I don't know.
It was too many backstories.
Yeah.
It's too many things.
That weren't relevant.
Yeah.
Even. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I liked the last third of the book.
Yeah. So you would give it a 3.3. Were you surprised with some of the, I mean, we don't really probably have a lot to talk. Do we have a lot to talk about with this one? Okay. Were you surprised with some of the plot twists though?
I was. I did not expect her partner
Mm-hmm.
to be the super bad guy.
Yeah. Super bad guy.
His name was Jonathan, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. And then I did love that her narc Price
Yeah.
came through at the end
Mm-hmm.
and saved her. I thought that was pretty cool.
The part that was interesting to me was like the moral aspect of it.
Actually, I wrote that down.
Did you?
What would you do?
Yeah. Yeah. So, protecting your child basically, or doing what's right.
Job.
Yeah, doing your job.
So my thought was though, right? So Genevieve was doing the act in self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
There was cameras
Mm-hmm.
that showed that.
Mm-hmm.
As a police officer, I didn't understand why she took, I guess maybe the chance that she'd get in trouble, the
Yeah.
daughter would get in trouble. But to me, I was like, it was self-defense.
Mhm.
He was trying to mug her and
Right.
she was protecting herself.
Right. Agreed.
So that part just threw me off. It wasn't like it was a hit and run or she was drunk
Right.
driving or whatever.
Right.
It was, she was protecting herself.
Right. I agree. I was a little, that didn't really,
Jive.
yeah, that was kind of a loose end with that part.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me.
Mm-mm.
And maybe, and this was like in England or wherever,
Yeah.
but so maybe they have different laws. But
Maybe.
to me, I was just like, it was
Same.
self-defense.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it's like sometimes I have to remind myself it's a book. Like they're just trying to get to the story. But I thought the premise of the story was really neat.
hmm
It's so many of the others that we've read. It's like reading the jacket is really cool, but then you get into it, it's like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Did you read anything else you liked lately?
What did I just finish?
I just got there's a 5th book from the Hunger Games series, and it's actually a prequel.
Mm-hmm.
It's about Haymitch. So I just got that book and I'm going to read it. The book. I'm going to read the book. I'm not going to listen, and I'm not reading it on my Kindle. I'm going to read the book. A hardcover book.
We Did Nothing Wrong.
Oh, who was that by?
Hannah Jane.
Was it good?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah, it kept my attention.
Good. Okay. Well, hopefully taking a little break right here will help too.
Yeah. Alice Feeney.
Yeah.
She came out with a new book called Beautiful Ugly, and I love her. I love
I do
her
too.
book.
She was the rock, paper, scissors girl, wasn't she?
This one, like, it was the same thing. It just took forever to get through, but the last part of the book was like, oh, there it is.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily recommend that one.
Oh, well, after I just looked it up. Did you say We Did Nothing Wrong?
We Did Nothing Wrong.
Okay. I'll look that up.
Yeah, that book was the last book that I was like, okay. And again, I'm in a reading slump, I think. I just can't get into anything. And I think that's just like my outside life.
Yeah, I think I've got so much going on with other things.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll find something that'll tickle our fancies. But documentary in 2 weeks, nothing next week. Enjoy a week off, everybody. You won't have to hear anything new from us. I don't know. What are we doing?
No.
Okay. I'm going to record a solo pod, and one of my personalities is going to be me. I'm going to channel my inner Steph for the second one. What do you think?
We can do it Zoom.
Yep, we'll play it by ear.
Yeah.
We'll see how it's going.
Okay. Or maybe we'll just do clips.
Maybe. That's fun too. Okay. Thank you guys for listening.
Like, follow, share, tell your friends, and we love you.
Okay. Love you. Bye.
Bye. Oh, and leave a review.
Oh, yeah. Bye.
All right, that wraps up another episode of This Is My Circus. If you survived this episode and somehow still like us, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, share it with your friends, or just send us caffeine.
And don't forget, you can join our VIP circus crew for the full video version of each episode. Also, exclusive bonus content, access to merch, and so much more.
Until next time, keep the drink strong, the book's coming, and the kids only mildly feral.
Because this is our circus, and these are our monkeys.
Love ya!